Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Movie in a Hunt. I'm a big, juicy grape.
Well, this caught me off guard.
And she's a dry, crusty raisin.
I do like raisins. Hi, I'm Paige.
I'm Juicy Grape for this episode.
Fantastic.
You can call me JG because that's a fine acronym.
As you could tell, it's been a while. It's been a while since we recorded.
So what we had to do, let's give a little background story because
Okay,
you're going to be like, wasn't your next episode going to be the new Hellraiser? It was.
In theory.
But you see what had happened was we kept canceling.
We had a mental break because of fucking Hellraiser, guys.
And we were like, okay, listen, in order for us to like do the episode, we need to cancel Hellraiser.
Because it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I was just like, I can't sit through another one.
I can't. I was just like, listen, they say the hardest part of a breakup is staying away. And I'm like, bitch, not this time. I'm in another state by now.
So, you know what we're doing? We are doing one of our favorites.
Jennifer's Tilly.
Jennifer's Body.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
this isn't
I also like
Tilly. This
Tilly
is a
as
documentary about Jennifer Tilly. Listen, I would watch a whole movie called Jennifer's Tilly.
Fair. And it's just involving Jennifer Tilly.
Yes.
I mean, we could watch
also known
Chucky.
as the Chucky television
I was
show
just going to say.
But we're watching Jennifer's Body. Let's talk about the trailer. But not just the trailer. The end of the trailer. We have not seen a soundtrack this robust since House of Wax.
Yeah, holy crap. Okay, so I don't know if you guys listened to our House of Wax episode, but we talked about how the soundtrack was just star-studded, right, for that time. It looks like this was doing the same thing. We have Panic at the Disco, Little Boots, All Time Low, White Lies, Dashboard Confessional, Cobra Starship, and Silver Sun Pickups. I know I've listened to and probably seen almost everybody except Little Boots.
I'm really confused by Dashboard Confessional. They're like the group that confuses me on this list.
This was 2009. So this is like they've already started. They were popular and everything. Because remember, they were in the Spider-Man soundtrack. Do you remember that?
Which one?
I think 1 or 2.
Because number 1 has like Nickelback and like some 41 and like Macy Gray.
Yeah.
And like it has Spider-Man 1 soundtrack is contender for best movie soundtrack of all time.
Fair. But the Dashboard Confessional was popular at this time. Or like just starting to get off their popularity.
Got it. Because I was just like, I listen to their music. I don't like everything here kind of fits. Dashboard Confessional's not so much of a fit.
Fair.
For like stuff here. I expect this Panic at the Disco song to get its money's worth in this movie.
Oh, it did. I don't know. I don't know if you remember it, but it's extremely like vulgar of a song by Panic at a Disco. Maybe we'll listen to it before we watch the movie, but I like it, but it's definitely, it didn't age well, let's just say.
I was going to say, when you say vulgar, I want 2006 to 2008 shitty Buck Cherry music.
Yep. They're like, we're clever with our wordplay in this song for Panic at the Disco. I'm like, you're not. It's just
sure
vulgar.
You are. Yeah, it's clever. Let's go with that. But this movie stars
a lot of people.
Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, which I forgot. Was Amanda Seyfried big yet?
Yes.
Was this post or pre Mamma Mia?
Ooh, good question. I think this was pre, but she was already up and about doing her thing.
Okay, so is this one of those movies that's like it could have killed her career?
I think so.
How bad it did?
I remember she did an interview recently about this was one of her like only movies that she did her action scenes, and she learned a lot more respect for like, you know, stunt actors because she said it was really freaking tough.
She gets her ass kicked at the end,
Yeah.
which is like impressive because she gets destroyed. And then there's the emo dude. I don't know where he's from though, but I know his face.
Kyle Gallner, I think he's his name. I'm looking at the cast. I know him from Smallville. He was Flash in Smallville. Adam Brody, big OC guy.
Adam Brody's in this?
Johnny Simmons, which was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh, wait. Is Adam Brody the rock star dude?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm just looking at the list. You know who else is in here?
No.
Chris Pratt. He's one of the officers,
Ew.
apparently.
Ew!
I know. And J.K. Simmons is
Ew.
in here, which is insane.
Okay, well, we love J.K. Simmons,
Oh, yeah.
so. Yeah.
So.
This movie is a Paige favorite. This is a Paige favorite.
It's because it's good, but not good, and I love it.
Oh, it was just that in order for me to get you back onto the show, I had to cancel Hellraiser and give you Jennifer's Body.
Come on, you know you had to do it too.
I mean, this is... I gave you Jennifer's Body, so in the summer, you got to give me Killer Clowns, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah, that's true. You give and take.
Yeah. I remember, so I've never seen this movie from beginning to end in one sitting.
Really?
I've only seen it... So, like, I've only seen it in bits. I've only seen, like, the ending together. I've only seen, like, the two things I remember seeing is the bar scene where it gets, like, set on fire. And the ending in, like, the dilapidated pool area.
Okay, yeah.
Those are, like, the two things I remember. I have not seen, like... If I've seen anything else, don't remember it,
Okay.
but... I just really haven't seen this movie
Cool.
in like a full sitting.
I haven't seen it in over, I don't know, maybe 10 years. It's been a really long time.
Ooh, I hope your nostalgia holds up.
I do too. I do too.
All right. Well, we're going to go watch a movie. We'll be back in however long this movie lasts. It can't be long.
Well,
It
we'll
can't
be back
90.
in like 3 seconds, basically.
See you in 5. We've made it back.
We're here.
We've survived a movie.
We did.
Which, you know, it wasn't, you're like, it wasn't that bad, but you're like, okay, well, we just went through the gauntlet. Is it, shitty? Is it like, is it just because it's not as shitty as the last two we watched?
It's hard to say because literally exactly what you said. Because like with Hellraiser, it just went worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. With this, I'm like, is this good? Is this what a horror movie should be like? And it's like, no. Get those rose-colored glasses off.
I was like, you know how many, like, you can make, it's a product of its time, but there was some racist ass shit.
Yeah, a lot of
In that
language in
movie.
there wasn't very PC.
No.
But it is filmed in 2008 and released 2009. So
I do remember there was one part of that movie where Megan Fox says something, and our reaction at the same time was, "Whoa, no!"
But I mean, it's also we talked about this in Thanksgiving, which was made around the same time ish. The word choices weren't great back then.
Did you intentionally bring up Thanksgiving because both of these movies have a MySpace like similarity?
I'm gonna say yes.
Because I like how you and I are different. Because you're like MySpace, and I'm just like, oh God, gag me.
Because it was of the time. I don't know. A lot of this entire movie, like with the music and the fashion and technology and everything, it just made me a little nostalgic, which is not good.
There were some things where I'm like, I'm happy we're not past it. Like, I'm happy we're past this. Like the bowl cut.
Oh,
fucking.
I hate it.
Fucking.
How did
What's
we
his
think
name?
that was attractive back then?
What was his name?
Chip?
Chip. Yeah, no. Chip was. I mean, he took his shirt off midway through, and I'm like, it's not real because your head would have got stuck and your hair would have been fucked the minute that shirt came off. It doesn't look good. I mean, can we also just talk about two other side things? Okay, so we talked about the soundtrack and how robust and amazing it is. Now, we didn't learn. So I figured it out because I was looking up the movie because we were like, oh, what's this weird fucking ballad song? And then it was like, oh, it was made for the album. But then I said, wait, Florence has a song on here. Like Florence and the Machine. And she's probably the most popular person outside. I even think she's probably more well-known than like Panic right now because Panic just fell off a cliff.
I would say it's equally, but like as like a successful career still, yeah, she would be the one.
And they didn't put her in the thing, in the soundtrack.
List, yeah.
And they give her song the biggest moment. Because people were both like, is that Florence? It's the most played on Spotify of the entire album.
Okay.
So it's like one of the best songs out of... It's probably like... It is the best song off the soundtrack, and they didn't even market it. Also, Hayley Williams has a song on here,
apparently.
which was awesome.
The one song that I do remember when this movie came out was the Panic at the Disco song. Because I think they had a music video for this movie with that song.
Was she in it? Was Megan in it?
Oh, I think so, yeah. But
makes sense.
I think it just used clips from the movie. I don't think it was... I don't remember. I'd have to watch it again. But that's really the only one I remember. I don't even remember the one that was mostly used. By Low Shoulder.
Oh my god. That... Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Funny enough, all the people they wanted to cast, he's the most famous one. The most relevant today.
I would say Amanda is. She just won a Golden Globe.
Oh, no, that they wanted to cast for his role.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. They wanted Pete Wentz.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Chad Michael Murray.
Again, makes sense.
Which, I'm like, thank God he's not in this, because I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, he was in House of Wax, and now he's in the other movie with the Freaky album. Let's just start this.
Yeah.
This movie, I hate how the movie starts.
I agree.
The movie starts awful.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like a fan fiction type of situation.
Yeah.
Like she's like, you're wondering how I got here.
So I bet you're wondering, what did she do to get to this exact moment where she's staring in a window? Let me send you to the psych ward real quick. I'm going to kick a chick in the face, and then we'll start the story. I need you to know I become a badass by the end of this story, because this doesn't look good for me most of the way through. But we get Megan Fox being Megan Fox. That was it. Like, she was, and also we have Amanda Seyfried, who for a while went on a bad movie run after this.
They all can't be ups. you know.
But the thing was, this was the movie that followed Mamma Mia, so everyone was like, "Oh, Amanda Seyfried from Mamma Mia," and then it's not like she didn't have the outcome that like Jenna Ortega had, where it was like Jenna Ortega, and now she's in Scream 6, and everyone's like Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. I had a feeling maybe she signed on to this because, hey, this is something really different. I never had this chance before because, it was never brought up to her.
I get to be a character that like fucks a dude with a bowl cut.
Every girl's
I'm not
dream.
gonna get over that bowl cut. I'm not gonna get over that. It's gonna keep coming up.
It's bad.
Because it
bad.
is offensive. I wish I could bleach my eyes and my memory from ever seeing that again. Especially him in his fucking whitey tidies with a bowl cut. I didn't need that for my eyes. Just saying that. This movie starts. She kicks a person in the face. I was like, and not only does she kick a person in the face, the person goes flying over like a table. She gets put in solitary confinement. And then she's like, I bet you're wondering how I got here. It's like, I mean, you just kicked a chick in the face.
And she's
Maybe
like,
that's the reason?
She's like, in my file, it even says I'm a kicker. And I was like, okay.
And then we get, introductions to all our characters, which she does in the most Disney Channel original movie type of way. This is me. This is my best friend, and this is my boyfriend, and this is our crazy week.
I told you, it's like a fan fiction.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but Max Keeble's Big Move.
Oh, God. I can
From,
see
like,
that.
back in 2000.
I can see that.
But, like, that's what it was. It was awful. Either way, Megan Fox is like, we're going to go to a concert tonight at a bar.
I forget the name of the bar.
and we're gonna go see the killers.
Yeah, so we were probably about halfway through the movie, and then Adam Brody showed up again, and I was like, you know what? He looks like, what is it, Brendan Flowers from The Killers, and you're like, holy shit, it is. So that's definitely where he got his inspiration.
I look at him and I'm like, you, as long as you don't talk, you look like you belong in the band.
Yeah.
The minute you open your mouth, you're too, like, upper class white guy for this.
It's like, I know you've been on the OC. Can you just, like, put it down to Country Bumpkin a little bit, please?
I know. This was like if like Pretty Little Liars had a punk rock episode, he would be in this episode.
Yes.
Now they get to the bar and we get a there for a bologna sandwich amount of time cameo by Chris Pratt.
God, he looked terrible, didn't he?
Back when he was this before Parks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember when Parks started.
I'm just truly happy he had that one scene and didn't come back.
I know.
I was so happy.
I like right when the fire started, a little bit like, did he die in the fire? And you're like, I don't think so. I was like, fuck.
Because I had a feeling he came back and she ate him, but I guess not.
I mean, this was like, well, he was still in his 20s, so he was
29.
He was only a couple years older than me. Wow. Look at what he's doing with his life then, being a cameo for Jennifer's body. So we get I don't know how to describe this because it's so uncomfortable to watch. Where Adam Brody like serenades the crowd and they all like huddle up and stand still in front of the stage, and I'm like, oh, can someone move, please? Somebody.
Yeah, it was. I got secondhand embarrassment, to be honest.
And then a fire starts. It's probably from a dude's cigarette that I missed.
See, to me, it looked like he kept looking over there, or maybe it was just him. He kept looking over there like he started the fire. I really think he did.
Either way, the place gets set on fire, and Megan Fox is in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, let's get in the van with them. And Amanda Seyfried, thankfully, is like, fuck, no, let's not do that.
Well, you don't think so, but I think she was put under some sort of, like, trance spell by these guys. 'Cause,
I think she was just in shock.
Yeah, she seemed, like, really... Well, during the performance, she seemed to be, like, you know, put under a spell.
Also, these guys want to sacrifice her because they think she's a virgin. Because Amanda Seyfried's character is like, she's still a virgin. And then Megan Fox is like, Chris Pratt and I did it in the butt.
Okay, real quick. Some of the writing in this film... Okay, this is also the writer of Juno. And if you have seen Juno, you know how it's like really quote-unquote quirky writing. It transfers right over into here. So a lot of it was very cringe, and then some of it was so cringy that it was funny. So
yeah, it became funny. Either way, Needy, her name's Needy.
Yeah, her nickname is Needy.
Needy makes it home. By the way, quick side thing. Fucking gross was that purple top she was wearing.
The
on
purple
top of
lace top over her long sleeve shirt.
Yes.
Very 2008.
That was offensive for 2008 standards still. I was like, that's eggplant. You need like a darker purple, girl. This looks like it's abomination. It literally looks like a 2-year-old dressed themselves for the first time. Either way, we get to school. Oh, well, Jennifer breaks into the house, tries to eat a chicken, and then vomits. That's kind of like the entire thing.
She eats the Boston Market rotisserie chicken and then just vomits. It looked like because it had the spikes and everything, like an alien type of goo.
You find out it's just demon goo.
Demon goo.
However, I will note, it's Boston Market. I don't need to be possessed by a demon to
for
blow
that to
shit
happen.
All right. We go back to school. And Jennifer's like, hey. And Edie's like, what the fuck was last night? And she's like, hey, you know I'm just a little quirky. And then we get J.K. Simmons in his hook hand.
And his wig. Oof. That wig. But he was supposed to look like crap. And he has a burn mark here.
He does. Mm-hmm. Either way, I guess... Oh, right. One of the I guess people on the football team tried to hook up with Jennfier in the bar. He died in the bar. So then his best friend's like, I miss him. And Jennifier's like, your best friend told me we should fuck.
And he's like, what? Really?
Alright.
Okay. Let's go into the bushes over here.
They go into the bushes,
now my cat
and we get a scene out of a Disney movie.
Yeah. So
all the animals arrive, and they watch.
Even the mosquito on his neck.
Yes. That fox was so fake, though. I was like, that there's something about that fox was off.
The raccoon, too.
Yeah. She kills him. She eats him.
Yeah. It was pretty gross.
It was nasty. Yeah.
That's it.
It was nasty. But yeah, he died. Oh no, a side character that we never know of. And then we get fucking musical montage by Low Shoulder.
Yes. Because they're supposed to be like the emotional support band because, you know, they made it big.
And then one of like their fans are in the classroom and they're like, they're God's gift to this world.
Yeah, that girl...
And Needy's like, they're fucking assholes. And they're like, take that back or I will gut you.
Yeah, that girl was just mean to Amanda's character for no reason. She was just a mean person.
Have you seen fans of a musical artist?
Fair.
People die. Literally, the best way I can put this movie is nothing happens most of the time.
Just more deaths.
And then Megan Fox looking into the camera.
Yeah.
That's it. She's just like, I'm sexy. It's like, we get it, but there has to be more here, please.
What happens next?
Literally, it goes into, they kill the football guy, and then they kill the emo guy.
Oh, it goes right into that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think in between that, we see Megan Fox's character. Like, she's, like, gaunt and looks like she hasn't slept. Her hair looks like shit. You know, compared to what she's been looking like. She doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so something weird's happening. So her energy is probably draining. It's just to see the parallels.
And then, dude from Scream 5, who was, like, in it for, like, a blink and you miss it cameo.
Yeah.
In that movie, was like, hey, Jennfier, let's fuck. And she's like, no. And then, like, literally, this is like, these are the discussions. And then Needy's like, he's kind of cute, I guess. And then Jennifier's like, let's fuck. Like, that's the entire conversation.
Yeah, with quirky, clever words. Hey, stop. Sorry, my cat
At some point, it's not even quirky.
No, well, back then, this is what it was. It was quirky and, you know, fun wordplay.
I like how it's like quirky for 09 is trying too hard in 2023.
It is. It is.
She's like, okay, we'll watch. I actually think this was probably one of the funnier bits was the aquamarine bit. That was actually a funny bit.
It was good.
That was it though.
Well, because he was like, oh, let's go to the movies. There's a showing of Rocky Horror, and she's like, I don't like boxing movies.
I hate Rocky Horror. I'm sorry. I don't get why people love that movie so much.
Oh, I like it. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I like it.
Either way, now this is where I feel like we're missing part of the movie. I'm gonna be honest. I think we're missing part of the movie. Like, they cut a whole section out that describes why Needy and Jennfier are like psychologically connected to each other somehow.
I don't think you have to explain it. I really don't. I think it's more they've been best friends since they were little. They have the best friends necklace, which comes into play at the end of the movie. I just think it's their connection to each other. I don't think it goes any deeper than that. because it's kind of like you know how they say identical twins feel the same pain or same emotion as the other twin. I think it's kind of around that type of thing, just like a psychological connection.
You're not selling me.
Oh.
I'm not being sold. I need to see it.
Oh, well, it's more showing, not telling, right? So they're showing.
It's not even showing how it happened. It's just like, this shit's there, I guess, because we need it for plot convenience.
Well, I think it makes sense.
Either way, Needy decides that she's gonna fuck Whitey Tighty Bowl Cut Man.
Who? Chip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So...
And then they start having sex. And,
well, the whole thing is with the psychological connection. Needy and Chip were like, you know, doing
I know.
it.
I was going to do a parallel.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to describe this, and then we make, as that's happening, this other thing that's a lot better is actually happening. Either way, the only thing I remember about that scene was you going, oh, don't open it with your teeth. That's all I remember. And I was just like, that's the most memorable thing about that scene.
Because it's not safe.
It's not. I remember that, and I remember Amanda Seyfried looking down the lake in that, like, in a way that's like, where is it? Is it there?
Like, okay, just get it on.
And as that's happening, we cut to, oh God, I should have had the song. Is it I Can't Get No Satisfaction? What's the song that was playing?
It
that
was
the emo kid was singing in
Akon,
the car?
remember?
No. They were singing in the car as like they were doing foreplay and he was going to the house. He was singing a song on his iPod.
It was something about sunshine.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, like he's super happy and blah, blah, blah. And then he's driving into this like desolate area of town.
And then all you hear, I kid you not, the disgust on my end. And then when you realized also who it was, you're like, get out of the house. Get out of the house.
This is a bad sign.
The call's coming from inside the house at this point, bro. All you hear in the faint distance is Akon.
Because I didn't hear it at first. We watched it with subtitles. So I was reading the subtitles, which were the lyrics, and I was like, this seems familiar. And you're like, oh,
I know
no.
that voice. It's Akon.
And I was like,
I'm like,
oh, fuck.
dude,
It is Akon.
Emo dude, get out of there. That's the warning. I hate that there's a chance that in this world, Akon is someone's siren call to, like, lure men to their fates. It's just like, I play Akon to lure
And it
men.
works.
It works. I think the saddest thing was we were talking in the movie, and I was like, God, wasn't he out of relevance? You're like, I don't think that was till, like, 2011.
Yeah.
I didn't
he
realize
was like,
how long that man was relevant for.
It's sad.
I don't like this. I don't like this part just because of all the Akon. And then Jennifier's like, does she do anything sexual with him, or does she just snap his wrist and kill him?
Well, not really. He's like, oh, I guess this isn't your house. And she's like, no, it's our house.
It's our
and
house.
And we could play
Yep.
mommy and daddy. And he's like, okay. And then
Cool.
she, like, breaks his wrist. But then we find out a little bit more is she needs them to feel fear and hopelessness.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. She can't just, like, fucking kill him. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Well, I think the only reason I was asking because the first guy, she basically stripped him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was like, is that her thing? Is like she gets them horny, then freaks them out because she has like, a crazy mouth, and then that's what makes them fearful.
Probably.
Which at the same time, I'm gonna say this: you do not need to like do all this stuff. Just open your mouth, and that's enough to make them feel fearful and hopeless. You don't have to do this whole thing.
But I think it needs to be like pure terror before she rips into them, type of thing.
Got it. I wonder how the first guy had pure terror then.
I have no idea.
He was like, "Oh no, my shirt!" And then she was like, "Perfect."
This is it.
Or is it the fear of being watched by animals? You're just like,
It
they're
could
all
be.
watching me. The second one makes sense because he's like middle bumfuck nowhere. Only one place had the lights on. That's the house you're getting killed in. Akon's playing horror.
I'm terrified already.
I'd be in my car on the way back. I will say though, that iPod.
Oh, the iPod in the car?
That
Yeah.
fucking iPod. I was like, oh, the chunky big boy.
I do have to
Oof.
say the shadow silhouette of when she's eating the emo kid
That was good.
Really, really good. And that was the moment where I was like, this is very Ginger Snaps, and I love it.
You did bring that up a lot during this part.
Yeah. It made me happy because I love Ginger Snaps.
And then as that's happening, we cut back to Needy and Chip fucking, and it looks awful.
Horrible. But again,
awful.
This is supposed to be, like, I don't know if it was, like, their first time or whatever. I don't know. Awkward teenagers. Yeah. And it was...
I mean, he went... wasn't one of his lines, I went to Super Target and bought more condoms.
Yeah, so. True. Yeah.
Also, Super Target. Oof.
It is a small town.
My glasses. It is. which Needy's prom dress in a little bit. Yeah. It gets a pass because of that.
I was about to be like, ooh, what's with the... Oh, nope. Small town. Makes sense.
So as they're boning, Needy starts... So there's one thing. She sees the football guy dead, and then she sees, like, Jennfier kind of, like... I think everyone's done it as a kid where, like, you put your arms, like, around your legs, like, you kind of wrap them around.
It was, like, very gargoyle.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very cool.
It was a freaky shot.
It was really cool. A lot of the shots, I know you complained about it, but a lot of the shots where it's just Jennfier looking fucking crazy and gross and bloody, I really liked it. Because you don't see that often. You don't see the female killer looking all disgusting, you know?
Oh, no. The shots where she was bloody and she did, like, that smile was great. And in reality, my biggest issue was my issue with the last movie we watched, which was Hellraiser 4. The forced perspective shots piss me off because they're just so overused.
Yeah.
The movie starts on one. It literally starts on one. And then, Chip's like, oh, my God, am I great in bed? And you're like... No, dude, she sees some dead...
And she's literally screaming in terror. Yeah.
I was like, dude, no, dude. Those screams are not what you think they are. And if you thought that's what you think they are, you should be scared.
You need to check yourself.
So she goes home, goes to sleep, and Jennifier's in bed. Wait.
This was great. Like, there's a lot of...
Oh, wait.
Because this is a black comedy.
Did it... Didn't she jump on the car first on the way back home?
Yeah. Okay. So she... Needy freaks out, goes into her car. She's driving home. Then, like, Megan Fox is crawling across the street. Really weird-like. And I'm like, ooh. And then she's like, what? And then, yeah, Megan jumps on the car. That was scary. How does she explain that to her mom, by the way?
I know. I think that's what she mentioned. Like, so what about the car? Yeah. What about Mama's car?
Like.
And then we get Expo. As to why Jennfier is what Jennfier is.
Oh, yeah. So Needy goes back into bed. Well, she falls asleep on the couch. She has flashbacks or whatever. Then she goes into bed. And I really liked how Megan just pops up. She goes, hi!
Oh, wait, there's a few... Okay, so I'm just going to note, there are some great lines in this movie. There's... Oh, God. I still think I'm a god is one of the best lines.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to talk about that. The scene where
I'm a god.
She's doing the lighter on her tongue.
Bites her
Iconic.
Tongue. I look scrumptious. Great line. Great line. Oh, man, what was it? I don't tell something. I'm not crazy. I forgot the
I don't
thing
know.
It's some form of, like, I don't tell whoppers, I think it is.
Or something like that, yeah.
Something like that. There's some good one-liners.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just...
You gotta pick them out.
They're hidden behind shitty jokes.
Yeah, you gotta pick them out. They're not all gonna be winners.
I still think there's certain lines that when Megan Fox says it works because it's just funny.
Yeah.
Amanda Seyfried, not as much. I don't think she gets a lot of good one-liners.
I think because her character's supposed to be awkward and her trying to sound, funny and smart, quirky smart type of thing, it just doesn't work for her character.
I think the character they tried to do it with was, like, they tried to make a little bit snippy was with Chip, but, like, it never came off good with him. It just came off whiny. He came off like a whiny person.
Super whiny.
Now, I will say that Amanda Seyfried's characters with her one-liners get really good in the third act.
Yeah.
Like, once she goes to the occult part of the library, her lines start to get a lot better.
Yeah. I liked the scene when
beginning.
she's talking to Chip on the stairwell. She's like,
I went to the occult section of the library. It's like,
it's really small.
I'd like that just because literally not 2 minutes earlier, I always had to like, why the fuck is there an occult section in a school library? That's an odd thing to have in a That's an odd thing to have in a normal library, let alone a fucking school library.
And she was like, Jennifier's evil. And Chip was like, yeah, I know. She's like, no, not high school evil, like actually evil.
She eats boys. So yeah, Jennifir is like, they thought I was a virgin. They tried to sacrifice me. Which Needy finds out soon. If they're not actually a virgin, then the demon sticks in their body.
Right.
Like, that's it. They're stuck together. And then she... I do think this is probably one of the best parts. Where Needy's like, get out! And Megan's like, okay. And she, instead of like leaving, she's like, what are you doing? She's like, you told me to get out. And she just jumps out the window.
But I do have to say, when Jennifer's explaining and we get the flashbacks with her, it was very, very upsetting, the ordeal that she went through. And I think it has to do also with Megan's acting. I think she did a really good job with that, instilling the fear that her character was feeling. I made the comparison to how uncomfortable it was, which was surprising for this film. I don't know. It was just as uncomfortable as I felt when I watched I Spit on Your Grave. That type of uncomfortableness.
Yep.
Just the vulnerability of the character. So, yeah, it was very upsetting.
And then Nudie tries to tell Chip, and Chip's like, I believe you. I just don't believe this situation.
Yeah.
And she's like, great, I'm breaking up with your ass.
Yeah, it's like, it's not safe. We can't go to the dance. And he's like, I got your corsage. It was $12.
I mean, for a high schooler, I'm pretty sure $12 is actually maybe a little expensive. Yeah. In a small town.
True.
So we cut to prom night.
Prom night. Oh, we forgot. Needy and Jennifir, like, have a whole makeout sesh.
Oh, God, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was as close as we can get in 2009.
Yep.
In 2023, they'd be fucking
100%. Like, it would be no question. Like, yeah, obviously they're in love with each other. That's it in 2023. And in 2009, it's like, ooh, this is taboo.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So Needy goes to the dance, and she's wearing 1982 prom dress.
Like her mom's prom dress.
Yeah. Chip goes to, like, a park, I guess. It's like
he's walking through the park, I guess, to the school.
And then Jennifir is following Chip.
Yeah. I like those shots a lot, because she did that with the jock boy in the first one, where she was, like, walking, and then she pops up on the other side of the frame.
Yeah. Because I remember I broke the 180 rule, like, it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I was like, it may be supposed to, but it's still jarring.
That's the point. Yeah.
However, we get the whole thing, and then J.K. Simmons comes back, and he's like, we got low shoulder! And all you see is Amanda Seyfried's character just like, fuck.
Okay.
Actually, that was something we missed when she was leaving Chip's house after, like, that whole experience with him. She puts on the car, and Low Shoulder's still playing in the car.
And she's like, ah!
I get it. That's
Same.
where some of the comedy lies in this. It's just that one fucking song playing over and over again. Now, what we do get next is great. Because it's a great scene, and it has Florence and the Machines playing.
Can't beat it.
What else is better?
Can't beat
you
it.
You can't. So Amanda is able to piece together what's going on, because Jennifir, like, kisses Chip, and she, like, feels it on her lips, and she's like, I know those lips.
Yeah. So from what I get from this is, since she and Jennifir had their little makeout sesh, she can feel what she's feeling in a sense. And like you said, she's like, oh my God, she's kissing Chip. Oh my God, she's going to eat Chip. So I thought that was cool.
Yep. It was. And then they go to an abandoned pool.
Very abandoned, very disgusting.
I love how you're like, if this was real, it would smell like shit and they would not be able to withstand it.
It would have been horrible. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, oh God, could you imagine?
And then Chip's like, no. And then Jennifer's like, too late, dude.
Yeah.
In the pool.
She just yeets him into the pool. It's a good scene.
And then Amanda jumps through. You know what? I give Needy all the credit. Because she goes through a window of cobwebs.
Yes. And down the vines.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have been like, sorry, baby. You're dead.
You're good.
You're
Bye.
dead. You're so dead.
Have fun.
My bad. And she gets there. And she's like, Chip. And then Jennifer's like biting his neck.
Oh, I like that scene where she turns around and she screams.
Yep.
Megan. It was really cool. The effects for her mouth when she becomes her succubus self, I think it's really, really good.
It's good, but the reason why it's probably better than like what it would be is because it's very quick.
Yes.
They don't really stick on her mouth.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
So she goes, dives into the water, attacks Jennifer, helps Chip, and then Jennifer comes out and she gets sprayed with pepper spray.
And she's just
from
more annoyed than anything.
Yeah. She vomits on them.
Yeah.
And she's like, and then Chip's like, she's flying, and Needy's like, she's levitating. It's not impressive. Listen.
See, the little one-liners are good in here.
It is, especially because Jennifer's like, why the fuck do you ruin my fun all of the time?
And then they go back and forth with their little quips against each other.
And then, what's his name? Stabs.
Chip.
Chip stabs Jennifer with it was a pole of some sort.
It was
I think it had a net on the end.
Yeah, it was the pool cleaner. Like when you get the leaves.
Okay. And Jennifer just looks inconvenienced.
She's just like ow.
She leaves. She jumps through the window again. That's her calling card when she leaves. And Chip dies. Oh no, not Chip.
Oh no, I'm so heartbroken.
Not that kid from Hotel for Dogs.
Not that kid from Scott Pilgrim.
What was he in Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, he was one of the band members.
Was he the drummer?
No, the drummer's the girl. He's the guy. He's young Neil.
Gotcha. I like how throughout the time we were watching this movie, I was like, we were just talking about like movies they had all been in. Yeah. We were like, oh, did you know that Scott Pilgrim anime is coming out? And we were like, yeah, I can't believe they got all these people back. And it would just go on tangents, and then you would not miss anything in the movie because there's not a whole lot going on in the movie. Well, and now you no longer have to wonder how I got here.
We've come full circle. Ari.
I like, for some reason, the whole thing on the television, like, I bet you want to touch my butt, but you can't touch my butt. This is TV. I don't know why that was making me laugh, but the dude was so energetic that I was like, I get why you're here to sell me some booty blaster stuff.
No, he's a famous person who sells shit and bodybuilder. But I did forget to mention that we did see some signs of the struggles that Jennifer deals with.
Yes.
She deals with a lot of skin picking issues. She has, her pulling her hair and like eating her hair, that type of disorder. Obviously, it's mentioned, but we kind of already knew she has an eating disorder that she deals with. So her watching that workout video kind of made sense, Yeah. It just gave a little bit more insight into her character, which I did appreciate.
I also like how, I think we skipped over it. It was during the prom bit, like the montage. So at the beginning of the movie, she's like, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a god. Like, literally, that's one of the lines. I'm a god. And then when she's she's caking her foundation on. She's like, literally, you can tell she's like holding back tears.
she was really good in this movie. I know the writing isn't that great or whatever, but I think her and Amanda really brought what they could to this.
Oh, yeah, they did. And I was like, because at first I was like, okay, is she just kind of gaunt right now, or is she actually crying? Because she was in that stage where her face is starting to kind of wither a bit. And you're like, oh, no, I think it's come to the realization that, like, you know, she has to do it
This
now.
is
like,
her
this
reality now. Correct.
Yeah. You have to eat people. Like, and it's not... So for the way it was looking, the time periods between feedings are getting shorter. Like, she's losing the ability to
hold out.
Go a few days.
Yeah, it was really upsetting. And then she puts on a front, which is what she does as a character. Like, even her... Jennfier is a character, right? Yeah. She's not truly herself. She puts on, I'm a bad bitch, you know, everyone wants me and I know it, and I'm the sexiest girl in the school and I know it. But she's really vulnerable, and it's really sad for her to go through this. And she was in a terrible situation where she fucking died from these guys who kidnapped her and stabbed her, and God knows did with her body.
And not only did they kill her, they killed her while they were singing Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
I was like, ew, I don't want the last thing for me to be hearing is this shitty song.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is the thing that she had to listen to before she died? Poor girl. No wonder she's killing these boys.
8675309.
Yeah.
Ugh. So... I will acknowledge Amanda Seyfried. I like how Jennifier's things is jumping out of windows and Needy's things is jumping into windows.
It was such a great snap cut. It was just like a bam, she's in.
And they start fighting. And Jennfier bites her.
Yeah.
Takes a good old num-num. And then the closest they can get to sex, because they're like, we can't do sex, but we can do air fighting.
Oh, yeah. And just, I want to let you know as a fun fact, that was an old way of doing, like back in the day, not 2008, but more back in the day, of doing like a lesbian sex scene was like in the air. They would like, you know, entangle in the air. So it's a whole thing. And I just want to mention real quick, we forgot to mention it, when Jennfier first shows up to Needy's house after she's been killed, and then she like throws her against the wall and is like, "Are you scared?" I don't know. This scene made me think of it because it was very tension. And it was a good scene. I like that scene.
It was. So they fight in the air, and then eventually Needy's like, "You're not my best friend anymore," and then rips off the best friend necklace, and I guess that like snaps Jennfier back to reality.
I think she becomes Jennfier again, because I think maybe from what my understanding was, the demon was connected to the necklace. Maybe that's where it poured it into, and once she removed the necklace, the demon either was removed or something like that.
So you're saying Jennfier didn't need to die?
No, I don't think she did. I don't think she did.
It was just like, you could have took the necklace off and this all would have been over.
I think that's the lesson from this. I could be wrong, but that's what I got from it.
She gets stabbed with a box cutter.
They have some one-liners and these lines.
You get all your murder weapons from Home Depot.
Yeah. So, but Jennifier's iconic last line, "My tit."
My tit. And then Jennifier's mother, who is basically Sidney Prescott, if Sidney Prescott stayed in Scream 2.
Yeah.
And just, like, grew up. Freaks out, and then Amanda Seyfried's like, "And now you see me back in solitary confinement. Now, you remember when she bit me 3 minutes ago? I got some of her powers." And you see her, like, levitating, and she's, like, levitates out of a window.
And then she just walks through a chain link fence.
Yep. And then she's like, "I'm following a band. I need to hitchhike." And she gets picked up by the dude from Pumpkinhead, the father from Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was supposed to be somebody, but I didn't know who it was, and you mentioned that. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I was like, cool. That's a cool little cameo for people who know the movies he's in. He was also in a few X-Files episodes.
Okay.
He's had a career. And we get a after
During
it's an
credits.
odd thing. Yeah, it's not like during the credits, but it's I forgot what you call them when you are just showing the names that were in the movie at the end. Low Shoulder. Ugh. Yeah, they're like, we're gonna play a show, and then they get murdered in their hotel room. And I was like, thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Yeah. But I'm glad
the fedora in the bathtub.
It was great.
Thank you.
But I'm glad that she got her revenge for Jennfier.
Yeah,
it was nice.
And now she's on the run for the rest of her life.
Yeah, with demon powers.
But she doesn't have a demon. She just has the demon powers.
From what I understand, I don't think she has to eat them because none of them, I think, were disemboweled. They were just killed.
Yeah.
So.
I do think it was a little bit odd that she found the fucking knife, though.
It called to her. There's some supernatural elements here. Come on.
Yeah, it's just called plot. It's the plot knife.
It is a movie, so.
I don't know. That was Jennifier's Tilly.
You mean?
Her name is Jennfier Check?
Yeah.
That's a stupid last name.
It is.
I'm sorry. I think it's not a stupid last name. It's just Jennfier doesn't go with that last name.
But yeah, that was Jennifier's Body. Let's take a quick cut and then we'll do our movie roundup.
Ew.
What?
Chip's last name was Dove? Chip Dove? You're right. This is fan fiction. Never mind.
All right, let's go into the movie roundup.
All right.
Okay, so this is the movie roundup for Jennifier's Body. I like it. Do I like it as much as I thought I did back in the day? Probably not. The writing isn't that great, but it has its very few moments. I think the acting done by Amanda and Megan were really, really good with what they were given. Direction was fine. I think lighting really did play a good role in this movie. There was some really good lighting that we didn't really talk about. The soundtrack is of its time, but it made sense because this is a teen flick, horror film. It makes sense. Overall, I think I really, I still enjoy this movie. I'm probably going to give it a 6 out of 10.
On my end, I thought I liked the movie, and then the more we discussed the movie, the more I've come to realize I don't like this movie. It's kind of that thing of, sure, it was fun, but it was also, I was like doing other stuff as it was playing, and I was like kind of just watching the good bits. Would I watch it again if there was a group of people? Maybe, but I would never watch it alone. It's not.
Yeah, this is definitely a movie that you watch with friends, for sure.
I would give this movie a 3 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, it's 3. If I accidentally gave any of the Hellraisers a 3, it's a 4.
I think you did, which is why I'm surprised.
Okay, it's a 4. It's a 4. It's a 4. It's a 4. Sorry, I thought besides Hellraiser 1, I thought I gave all of them like a 2 or lower. If any of them got a 3, this is a 4.
Yeah.
I'm not putting this with them.
You can't. I'd be pretty insulted if you did. It's not that bad.
We would have to cancel the show at that point. This will be retroactive. When I go back and listen to all the ratings, I'd be like, okay, so that means this is a 4. I'm just putting it in the episode, so when I come back and say I gave it a 4, you know why. You know what's amazing? I don't remember what the next movie is.
Oh, I was going to ask you. Crap.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens after we go away for a whole
we had
month.
life happen, and also like Hellraiser really, really killed our mood, dude.
We were going to record last week, and I literally sent you a message being like, how about we don't?
I was like, thank God.
I am bringing the movie up now. Here we go. Up next is, oh my God.
Is it
About fucking time.
Is it Ginger Snaps? Oh.
No. Ginger Snaps is for your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Up next is one of the movies that this literal season was made off of. The reason why we're doing Season of the Monsters was because we wanted to do Universal movie monsters. So next episode is Dracula.
Which one?
We get to choose.
Oh,
remember?
right. Okay, so it's one of the Dracula movies. The many, many Dracula movies.
But it will be a Universal movie monster. So I don't think it's going to be like Interview with a Vampire
Correct.
or anything like that.
No, yes.
It's a Dracula.
Correct.
And it won't be a crossover. It's not going to be like Dracula versus
No.
Wolfman. It's focused
Gonna
on
be a
him.
Dracula movie. So that's gonna be really fun. Yeah, we originally wanted to do it this for the, like he said, the original horror monsters. You know, Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, all that good stuff. Monster from the Black Lagoon type of thing.
Yep.
So I hope you enjoy this movie. If you don't, sorry. I hope you enjoyed us talking about it.
If you didn't,
if you do like us, stick around. We're on YouTube as Movie and Haunt. We're on Spotify as Movie and Haunt. And please join us next time for Dracula. So, have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
5 innocent people killed, not a sign of a